Cool. All right, guys, let's get started. So this is going to be intermediate advanced class. Our prerequisite is understanding how to perform an inside heel hook from saddle, cross half shake 411. If you don't know how to enter that, not a good class for you, right? And so I'm not going to help you guys get settled into your positions. We're teaching defense. Higher level defense requires an appropriate level of offense. And so a lot of things we do today will not make any sense if the offensive player is not doing things right, okay? I started teaching higher level classes earlier this year, and my rule is always the same. If you can't perform the first thing we do, I'm not gonna help you, okay? And so we have 20 plus black belts here, lots of brown belts and purple belts. They need classes too. So is that fair? Everybody cool with that? If you guys want to keep doing the first thing we learned all hour, that's awesome. If you want to leave in the middle of the class, that's cool too. But the class is intentionally smaller and more advanced. Cool? So, we're talking about inside heel hook defense from saddle. So we're going to start off in saddle. All right, so the first idea is going to be to hide our heel, right? So obviously she wants heel exposure. She's already gained this inside control that I've lost. So I made a giant mistake here. And so our first job is going to be to hide our heel. So I'm going to turn myself to my heel. Is going to go towards her hip. And I'm going to hamstring curl in nice and tight and drive into her. Okay? So I want to make sure that my heel is close to her hip. She can't dig it out. Right? What usually happens here from a high-level grappler is they're trying to roll to create more exposure. This is where she gets her exposure. So my job is to keep her from rolling. Okay? So the first drill we're going to do is to enter saddle, hide our heel with a hamstring curl. Our secondary leg is going to be working at what we call a split defense, right? A linked defense, my feet are together and they're crossed, or my arms are together, my arms are crossed. A split defense, we have separate arms, separate legs, right? So a split defense, this leg is active independently. This leg becomes a kickstand, making sure she cannot roll me, okay? So I'm driving myself kind of in this counterclockwise motion. I'm keeping my leg out flanked so I can't be rolled. So go ahead and roll. And I'm attacking her top side leg, hugging it this direction, okay? I have to keep my foot on the inside from my big toe to my heel, flat on the mat, right? So flat on the mat, hamstring curl, hip flare, kickstand. Our job is to make it fail, okay? So if you are a very, very good leg locker and you're working with somebody, make this fail, okay? So you ready? Go. So get heel exposure, no matter what. That's the pressure I want, right? If I never am successful in keeping my heel safe, that's okay. If every rep fails, that's okay. If every rep is successful, then she fucked up, okay? So be a good training partner and make this fail. Does that make sense? Inside saddle. Control, hide your heel, out here, nice and controlled. Keep myself flat and heavy on the mat, right? Cool? Let's start there. Try it. Ready? I might be in this exact defense for 10 seconds. It's quick for me. It's very fast, right? But when we keep our skill set very narrow, right? Like by not allowing you to go to outside heel hook or DOA or change positions, we skill build this one small segment of time, right? My job is going to be to take in skill building, make it last 30 seconds of defense, right? But then when it's a live spar, I was defending for 1 second, now I'm defending for 3 seconds. Does that make sense? I'm just slowly increasing that time to give me the next step in play, right? So the next step is going to be getting to that hamstring control. So we've immediately established the fact that I fucked up. Right? Once this leg laces in and we have a reap, I'm in danger. For me, if I go to a linked defense here, like crossing my ankles or this, I'm just buying myself more time, right? But the reality is, it's impossible to escape this position with my legs together. They have to separate, okay? It's no different than escaping an armbar or a Kimura. I cannot do it like this. She'll just keep chasing different submissions. I have to eventually let go and clear my arm. Same thing here. So right away, I acknowledge I fucked up. I hide my heel, get to my kickstand position, address her hip from here, okay? But now, I'm gonna push the leg the other direction. So I'm still kind of in this almost like a Heisman pose. my hand goes to the inside, and I clear as far as I can. All right, and I'm super strong here, tight structure. If I face her like this way, then I'm much weaker. I'm gonna open my hand here. Okay, now I'm gonna go lotus. So my kickstand is gonna replace my hand. Okay, so my arm is maxed out on length. If I keep pushing with my left arm, I can't clear my knee line. Okay, I can shrug my hips away, but she's pretty strong here. But if I replace it, my leg is significantly longer. So my lotus leg comes in, and I replace my thumb. All right, now I start pushing away. Okay, once I've cleared this knee line, I'm pretty safe. But now my legs are crossed. I gotta switch my hips to clear my leg. Okay, I can't pull it out like this. So I abandon hiding the heel. I clear my leg out. Okay, and we can pressure test this also, right? So how we're gonna pressure test this is have her pause here. We already pressure tested the first part. Get my leg in, right? We're not gonna test here either. She's calm here. Once I'm here, so keep your foreleg, keep it tight. Right, so attack the heel. Yeah, that's all I wanna do. Just push my leg out and be free. I'm not gonna roll. I'm keeping both butt cheeks on the mat, but I'm stripping her away and pulling myself just clear. Okay, right now, we're in a very offensive spot for me. Okay, if I can gain the real estate of this hamstring control, I have back exposure via the hips, I have crab ride entries, I have wrestle ups, and everything happens from right here. Okay, so a shorter work period, like maybe 5 minutes, but resetting back in the saddle, establishing my Heisman stiff arm, opening my shoulder, getting my lotus in there. This is not a flexibility issue for anybody here. Like, everybody can do this. All right, I'm not trying to go here, right? Like, it's just touching here. Once we're here, she's gonna clamp with all of her might. Start moving away. That's it, right? If you can make it fail, make it fail. All right, be honest training partners and walk out of here actually learning a skill, okay? So when we're repping this, bite hard and make them fail. Tell them why they failed, have a conversation. Make sense? Let's do that part. Ready? So don't tap, right? It's pretty hard to twist somebody's knee apart. So she goes saddle. She gets the heel hook. All right, my leg is straight. Go ahead. Yep. Good. Yeah, they go pretty far. All right, worst advice ever. You're good. Just keep if I can do it, your body's the same as mine, right? But the reality is, like, okay, that was more of a knee bar. It's hard to get a twisting from there. But once I have my hamstring bite in, go ahead. Now there's nothing there, right? So even though I'm not fully clear of the knee line, this leg getting pushed away makes the heel hook almost useless, right? And so a good grappler like Heather probably won't chase this too much longer, right? I mean, this is kind of a losing battle from here. So all we're gonna do is keep driving. I saw a lot of you guys doing more effort of, go back in, more effort of moving yourself away and less of driving this.
God damn.
Yeah? Like, this is the push I want. So I'm backing away a little bit, but a lot of it comes from this drive. And I promise you, her ability to drive her leg towards me is less than mine to push her away, right? We can squat a lot more than we can do this. That means I'm not a bodybuilder. Right? So nice and structured, nice and defensive here, keeping the heel hidden. But the reality is, give me like an entry. Where do you want to enter it from? No pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually stand up like this.
Yeah. Right away. That's kind of the pace I'm looking for. All right. I gotta know the reaper's coming in, the leg's coming right away, and I'm replacing my hand, which is maxed out for length, with my leg, which has plenty of length ahead of it still. Now I want to start moving myself to this direction, which gives her heel exposure, but I'm safe now. So I just drive, push my hips. Okay. From here, my bottom leg that was in is all the way out, and I keep this control of the hamstring. All right, I'm curling my toes and I'm biting her hamstring with my foot. And now she can circle her leg up to clear it. I'm just gonna trace this. Yeah, so we're in saddle. It's oddly controlling, right? This little octopus tentacle should have a lot of grip on it, and we should be just tracing her. She tries to move her leg around. So my post comes in, my lotus comes in, I drive, push my hips, Just trace. Yeah, so move a little bit. All right, so one foot stays there, hugging her hamstring the whole time. No matter where she goes, we just follow around with it. Again, this is a skill building tactic. So we're gonna trace that for much longer than would happen in a real roll, right? So I'm gonna trace this for 10, 20 seconds. She can move wherever she wants. There's no wrong answer. She can Granby, she can forward roll, whatever. My job is just to follow her, keep my foot on that hamstring while I start progressing myself higher than her. Yeah, so this is our wrestle up function. We're just gonna wrestle up. If we get back exposure, that's cool. If I just get to my feet, there's huge benefit in just getting to your feet. Any questions? Nailed it. Let's try it. Ready? Great questions. I love when the questions become the next thing I show. It's like I have a plan here. I don't. I have no idea where I'm staying tonight or anything. I don't plan anything. I moved to Germany with no prospects or anything. Like, let's go. I got to marry a guy now. It's weird, but
so you're the mail order bride.
All right, so we really are left with only two options here, okay? If I'm able to control that hamstring and start directing the angle of her hips, she can stay down or stand up, right? In the whole world of possibilities, that's all you can really do anyway, right? Stay down or stand up. So let's talk about if she runs and kind of stands up from this, which is a great question. Yeah, I love it. Right, man, everything here. If she starts going away, working her feet, well, yeah, I go to a body lock. If she goes all the way up, right, we're in a standing body lock. Play our body lock game, right? Watch any black belt no-gi match right now. If I'm on your back in a stand-up, that's where I want to be, right? It is the #1 place to get a mat return from. Almost every time someone's shooting singles or doubles or high crotches, they're transitioning from that to a rear body lock. That's where you want to be. This is fantastic, right? But the key thing is trying to control this hamstring with my right leg, not just by pushing it away and shoving her away from me, okay? I'm pushing them away just the length of my knee line above her thigh, okay? Once I've cleared my knee, for me personally, my knee line stops just in the danger zone, okay? Meaning I can get myself to here, and I feel pretty safe here, okay? She can reclaim that territory pretty easily, but once I have my hamstring control foot in, I don't want to pull out beyond this. So I want to maintain tension on this leg, right? I curl my toes because I want to keep pushing her to the mat, okay? So move from here. This is where I want to be, right? Because now my heel hook leg becomes a butterfly hook. I'm going to start attacking for body locks from here, okay? The same thing happens if she stands up. I stand up with her by stepping down, following up to the feet, and play the game from here, or I just jump back, get crazy. But let's talk about the most complicated part of the process, and that is attacking a grounded opponent from here, okay? So I want to turn this into a crab ride. If you look at percentages of failed leg locks that fail very often become back exposure. All right, this is like if you watch Oliver Taza. Oliver Taza is a phenomenal leg locker. When he loses matches, it's because he exposes his back on a failed entry, right, or a failed attack. So this is the crux of leg locking, is that every attack on my legs shows me her back, okay? I want to use that. So everything's the same. I step in, this becomes a butterfly hook, and now I'm coming underneath. All right? So hamstring control, this was the leg getting heel hooked, becomes a butterfly, and I Granby underneath. From here, I'm gonna kick her top side leg forward and wrestle up to my leg drag position, okay? We're not gonna finish our crab ride to the back yet. I wanna get comfortable having a bailout, okay? Same rule with barambolos. If I learn only how to barambolo and I fail, I lost everything. If I learn the little baby bolo that ends up in side control, I have a pit stop. I can continue from there if I want to, but I have a plan B, okay? So we are in our saddle. We hide the heel right away, create exposure here, right? So she can try really hard to keep this leg flared into me, but I'm doing a couple things. I'm pushing and I'm extending myself away. So her leg really didn't move that much at all. My body moved. Now, This will require more flexibility for that lotus position, right? We can still get it in there. Start pushing it in. I don't want to hide my toes, okay? Here, this is bad. Now we start getting into where he slipped. Now she has control for both legs. I want to be here on the back. I switch my hips because now my left leg that was getting the heel hook becomes a butterfly hook. So I switch, butterfly, okay? Hands are gonna touch the hips like this. I'm gonna drive the leg up over her head in this direction as I dive underneath. Okay, now I just finished the leg drag. Let me finish our passes from here. Jiu-Jitsu 101. What do you think? Yes. Just say boo next time. Boo! There you go. Heel hook. Hide the heel. Heisman. Hamstring curl. Pull. Diving as I'm switching my hips. There's the butterfly hook. Yep. So if you can't Granby roll, get the fuck out. So. I'm from the Midwest. We have terrible humor. We just are mean to all people we like. Try getting a girlfriend. It's terrible. Okay. Any questions? You're ready. Clap. Let's go try it. All right. Ready? Now we take our technique and we go back to a skill building exercise. It's one of the most hilarious drills I've ever seen. You guys are going to laugh. You're going to have nuts in the back of your head. It's a good time. We're going to do my conveyor belt drill. And so conveyor belt drill helps teach us how to crab ride and teach us how to use our legs and kind of rock climb up our friends. And so it's super fun. But this is really important for the rest of the crab ride to understand how legs and arms work together, right? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have my partner lay right here.
Head towards you?
Nope, head towards me. Can't find. Yup. I'm going to lay right here. My job is to put her in my lap. She needs to be right there so we can make this conveyor belt going over and over and over again. All right? So I'm going to grab her ankles. My feet are going to go to the hamstrings. I'm going to grab her hips. All right? And now we put her down. And then she scoots ahead. She grabs my ankles.
Oh, fuck.
She puts her feet in my hamstring, and she finds a way to put me. Yep, she pulls, she climbs. Oh no! Oh, that was really good. Yep. It's funny, it's really fun, but it's super practical. Okay, even understanding that if you get off balance, it can be you losing the back take, right? Going to the full like awesome. What's the movie called?
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing thing is not super required, right? It can be a low climb, it can be dirty, it can be nasty. Don't make it dirty, it's fucking cool. All right, it's camp, but it's early. So it can be gross, it can be kind of just like clingy and climby, but the goal is to manipulate them from over your head, climb up their body, and control the back, right? So one more time, by Heather, and she clearly can't do this alone. Black belt. From Galvao. Galvao taught me this drill. Right? If I'm less flexible, I cut an angle. Right? Here's where we were. Hamstring. We bite. Climbing. But this is everything, right? The direction I'm putting her in is going to dictate where I put my legs in. Yeah. He's like, fuck that. I can't do that. Right? Play with it. Have fun. If you can get them into your lap and have the back control, you were successful. If it wasn't that pretty, that's okay. But play with it. Just want to see it again, or are we good? Good. Go fuck this up. Go. Good. So, again, it's skill building, right? This is actually harder than getting someone's back in a roll because typically the act of the roll tells us how to take the back, right? So, right now we're working against a dead body, and I got enough for that. But, so, it's easy here when they're grappling. So now we're taking that whole conveyor belt drill and cutting it down to like a 10% of that usage, right? So we've defended our heel hook, we got our lotus foot in, we have hamstring control, We have one hamstring, one butterfly. We've started our Granby roll, but now we have to get them up into that conveyor belt and take the back, right? Don't forget, if we fuck this up, we just wrestle up, right? If we fuck it up halfway through the Granby roll, we roll to our top, we play the leg drag guard pass game. We have lots of bailouts here, okay? So, right away, she sits back for the heel. I grab, put it in, stomp, diving underneath, catching her hips and pulling up. Okay? From here, I don't have to pull her to my lap. All I have to do is control the body lock and put the hook in, right? If I want to finish the roll, I can go to my knees from here and play the whole ninja roll game, right? So if you see my ninja roll class, we're already in it. We can roll up and go to the back that way, right? We have all kinds of cool bailouts, all kinds of ways to take the back. Cool shit to do. If you know that one, do that one. All right, if you don't know it, don't learn it. We have 10 minutes left. It's fucking stupid, right? Or, same exact process. Take the back more casually, yeah? So, 2 different variations. I'll show the first one again because it's kind of fun. Leg in. Whoops, sorry. Yeah. Roll back. All right, we're into our half guard position. We ninja roll over. In our truck. Yeah. This is the great part of the seminar to not do anything new, right? You can go back to the beginning, you do the first part, make sure you leave here having some new skills acquired. But if you saw the finish of the crab ride back take in the last segment, then do it. If you didn't recognize it earlier in the seminar, maybe don't do it, okay? But it's your time now to spend asking me questions and doing any part of the lesson that you enjoyed doing. There's no wrong way to play. Make sense? Let's do it. Ready? Now, I always build my classes the same way where, you guys might think it's chaos at the very end and it's a little too complicated at the very end. And it probably is, right? But the reality is that first half an hour block was really simple shit. And so we should understand that simply getting myself to a lotus hamstring push will save us from a lot of heel hooks, especially if the timing is correct. Everything else that happens after that, it gets complicated because I don't choose what to do. It's not my choice, right? How Heather reacts to what I push, I choose the appropriate reaction from there, right? My job is not to manipulate Heather, but to wrap myself around her in a way that benefits myself. The challenge becomes when you train this way, the person who is the attacker has to give the appropriate feed because the back take ninja roll will only work if she reacts a very certain way, right? I'm not saying I have to make her go that way. I'm saying that if in the act of the roll she goes that way, I should have an applicable scenario, right? And so I have to know what to do when it is time. So this is super counterintuitive to like Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, which was pin, smash, submit against your will, right? I don't play that. You can do whatever you want. It's my job to make what happened wrong, okay? So it just makes training it much harder. So the big takeaways here is as she's doing her entry, like standing entry, yeah? Right, like it's happening, she's gonna come in, right away, I'm here, all right? That motion of not being starstruck, not being stage fright, stops most leg locks, you know? If she gets deeper on me, I have to go to that hamstring control to hide the heel, stay calm, I'm okay here, right? If she cups the heel from here, yeah, I go ahead and a full bite. Yeah, I'm okay still, okay? I gotta be okay with this. So I know that she wants to push my hips forward through the mat. I can pull her open. I can move my knee to the mat more, a little bit more. I can bend my leg more. I can do a lot to maintain from here, okay? The issue is finding training partners you can trust, right? I gotta trust that she's gonna go to 99% of a break and hold me there, right? The better we get at that, the more we communicate. When Heather and I roll, we take leg locks pretty fucking far. I know that like, she can't hurt me. No, I trust her immensely, right? And so we push that threshold of comfort level, right? When we first start playing leg locks, people are tapping way early, and that's okay. But the reality is, you got to figure out what your threshold really is, and then buy yourself some time. But I'm not a big fan of getting into that spot where we're gonna go a little like double shuffle. All right, and I'm just gonna be here, or I start hand fighting. Right, hand fighting usually is a scary scenario. Right, this is like I'm dying here. Right, I think that for me this is the caveman defense of like last ditch effort. And so what happens is if I wait this long to start my lotus, she's already way ahead of me. So when I let go, she's split my legs. Right, when I let go, she's already on it. Right, so I'm fighting here. I let go, she's gonna win. So for me, I'll cut all that bullshit out. Right? And the second she starts to sit back on the leg, I'm going to split defense right away, getting my lotus in there, okay? If I'm here, I feel very strong, you know? It will be hard to pull your leg out. That's okay, right? Just know that as she's trying to gain more purchase on my knee line, I'm just trying to push away, right? If I get to here and I fuck that whole thing up, that's okay, I'm still clear, right? So the big takeaway is not the ninja rolls and not the back control. It's just getting that hamstring exposure and pushing them away from you and kind of seeing what happens from there. Most good leg lockers don't want to fully escape, right? Her entanglement can easily become my entanglement, and she's doing half the work for me. So I want to clear my knee line, re-engage on my level, on my terms, and play from there. I think you guys will have success with getting that hamstring curl in and playing with it. The big thing with all submissions is if you want to get better at your submission defense, you have to get submitted a lot. You got to fail. Fail all the time. And don't take it personally, just fail and process the data, right? We're all running experiments when we open mat. You run an experiment, you don't care what the outcomes are, you just process the data and try again. Any questions? All the questions? Cool, I'm here the rest of the week, so come see me if you have questions, and we'll pull you aside and fix it.